third child I done lost to the state of Georgia. And if you think it's going to break me, it's not. I done seen all I can see. 3 of my babies gone. I want to thank Rockdale County. I didn't want to give y'all the chance, and I wanted him so bad. But I trusted y'all, and thank you. Thank you. It's not the news that we wanted, but I'm happy that we can hold them accountable. And I just ask all, if you know anything can help it go further, and anybody else that is involved, come forth. Because what has happened to us more than once can happen to any of you. And you will want us and everybody to be involved the same way you are. I was ready for it. And I will help take care of my daughters, her kids. Thank you, Georgia.
Imani Roberson had just finished dinner with her mom. She said goodbye, walked out the door, and drove off into the night. That was the last time her family saw her alive. A Ring doorbell recorded her final moments. What happened next shocked everyone, and pointed to the one person no one wanted to believe was responsible. Imani Roberson was just 30 years old. A loving daughter, a sister, and a mother of 4. She had her hands full, raising her kids and trying to keep her home together. On the night of July 16, 2023, she left her mother's house after Sunday dinner, something the family did often. She had 2 of her children with her. It was a normal evening until she disappeared. Her family knew something was wrong right away. Imani wasn't the type to ignore calls or texts. Hours passed, then days. Her car was missing. Her phone was off. No one could reach her. The case might have gone cold if it weren't for one thing: a Ring doorbell camera. That camera showed the last time Imani was seen, and it gave police their first real clue. But what happened after that footage was even more disturbing. As detectives started to look deeper, they uncovered things no one expected. Blood in the home, GPS records, phone pings, and a burned car hidden off a quiet road. What started as a missing person case turned into something much darker. And at the center of it all was someone Imani once trusted the most. This is the story of how technology, persistence, and a grieving family uncovered the truth. And how the last person caught on camera with Imani turned out to be the key. It was mid-July in Georgia. The air was thick. The sun didn't set until late, and families were still making the most of summer. Imani Roberson had spent that Sunday with her mother and siblings, eating dinner, laughing, catching up. The kind of evening that felt routine, even comforting. No one imagined it would be the last time they saw her. Imani lived just outside of Atlanta. She was a mother to 4 kids. Her world revolved around them. Her family says she was trying to build a better life. She had just earned a degree. She was focused, driven, and always made sure her children were taken care of. But behind that, things at home weren't easy. Her husband, Jeremiah, had become distant. Family noticed. Imani's mother, brothers, even her close friends had seen changes. There were arguments, moments that raised concern. Her family said she was starting to pull away, thinking about the future and whether she wanted to keep things going with him.
On July 16th, my daughter, Imani Serafina Roberson, had dinner at her home with her toddler and newborn, as they stated. For context, she lives 2 streets away and visits almost daily. She typically takes Troop Smith Road or Highway 212 between our 2 subdivisions. She left my home about 5:30 on Sunday evening after we had dinner, en route to her home with her 2 children, and has not been seen since. Imani has a caramel complexion. She's about 5 feet 2 inches tall, with dark brown eyes and a small build. Her hair is currently styled in thick, knotless braids with a reddish color, and she normally wears them pinned up to the back. She wears glasses and occasionally contact lenses. She has a tattoo sleeve on her left arm. Over the course of the last 20 years, I have lost 3 children. Please help me bring Imani home. Anyone who thinks they may have seen her or the car, please, there is no detail too small. We really need your help.
That Sunday dinner wasn't unusual. Imani brought 2 of her kids over to spend time with her side of the family. Everything seemed fine. Nothing felt off. Just before 6 p.m., she packed up the kids and headed out. A Ring doorbell camera captured her walking out the door, saying goodbye. After that, silence. She never made it home. Her husband didn't report her missing. He didn't ask the family where she was. It was her mother who sounded the alarm the next day, when calls went unanswered and messages were left on read. That was the first red flag. But it wouldn't be the last. And as the days passed, one thing became clear. Someone knew more than they were saying. July 16, 2023. It was a Sunday just like any other. Imani Roberson had dinner with her family at her mother's home in Conyers, Georgia. Her mother, her siblings, her children. Everyone was there. They ate, they talked, and they laughed. Nothing seemed wrong. Imani looked calm, and the kids were happy. Around 5:50 p.m., she said her goodbyes, picked up 2 of her children, and headed out. A Ring doorbell camera on the front porch caught her walking to the car. That short video would later become a key piece of evidence. It showed Imani smiling, carrying one of the kids, then driving off. That's the last image of her alive. Imani never made it back home. That same night, her mother, Clarine, sent her a few texts, just checking in. No reply. She didn't think too much of it. Maybe Imani was tired. But when she woke up the next morning and still hadn't heard from her daughter, something didn't sit right. Imani wasn't the type to stay quiet. She always called back. She always kept in touch, especially when the kids were with her. Clarine called again, then again. Still no answer. That Monday, Imani didn't show up to work. She didn't call in. Her phone went straight to voicemail, and she wasn't active on social media, which was unusual for her. The family tried her husband, Jeremiah, but he said he hadn't seen her either. No panic in his voice, just short replies. That's when the family started to worry. By Tuesday, 2 full days had passed. The concern turned into fear. Clarine called the police and filed a missing person report. She told them something was wrong. She told them this wasn't like her daughter. The search began, but there wasn't much to go on. Imani's car, a white Mazda SUV, was nowhere to be found. Her phone was off. Credit cards hadn't been used. No signs of her anywhere. At first, police looked at her recent activity. They checked surveillance from her mother's home. That's where they saw the doorbell footage. Imani leaving the house with her kids, heading to her car. That confirmed the timeline. After that moment, she just vanished. Then came the first twist. The next day, her 2 youngest children were found safe. Not with Imani, but with their father, Jeremiah. When police asked him where Imani was, he said she'd left with the kids after dinner and never came back. But that didn't add up. If she never came back, how did he have the children? He didn't give a clear answer. And he wasn't the one who called the police. That raised questions. Investigators started digging deeper. They pulled phone records, searched for GPS data, and checked traffic cameras. First, nothing turned up. It was like Imani had disappeared off the map. Then, on July 27th, 11 days after she went missing, police made a discovery. In a wooded area in South Fulton County, about an hour from where Imani was last seen, they found a burned vehicle. It was hard to identify, but the shape and size matched Imani's SUV. Inside, they found human remains. The news hit her family hard. DNA testing was ordered, but in their hearts they already knew. Imani wasn't coming home. With this discovery, the investigation shifted fast. Police began searching Imani's home.
Which you good standing there, or you want to come on this side? Investigator Jones. All right. Okay. All righty. Good morning, everyone. Sorry that we are a little delayed. It has been a long night. I was even out late last night on this case, and under the circumstances with children involved and us taking possession of the child or children and releasing them to the grandmother, you can imagine what type of night she had and the parents had. This is the mother to my left, and this is the father of Imani to my right. And so, at the end of my statement here, I'm sure that you will hear some words from each of them. So I just want to make sure that I get my name right, because I saw it incorrect on one of the news stations. I won't call. So I know how this routine goes. Again, I'm Eric, E-R-I-C, Levitt, L-E-V as in Victor, E-T-T, Sheriff of Rockdale County. All right, everybody ready? Ready, guys? Okay, all right. As you know, we have been investigating the disappearance of Imani Roberson. Imani was last seen by her mother on 7/16/2023 after having dinner at her mother's home with her 4 children. After leaving her mother's house, Imani Roberson returned home with 2 of her 4 children, the 3-year-old and 1-month-old baby. The other 2 children stayed the night with their grandmother. On 7/17, Clarine made several attempts to contact her daughter Imani Roberson, as they speak daily and sometimes several times a day, to no avail. Imani's mother decided to go to Imani's home to see if she was home, to find that no one was at the home. Imani's mother then decided to report her daughter missing, because it was not like her to call her and check on her children. We then began an immediate investigation by placing a lookout for the whereabouts of Imani Roberson, contacting family, friends, and identifying any known locations that Imani may frequent. RCSO continued investigations, led investigators to the home that was shared by Imani, Donell Anderson, which is Imani's husband, and the 4 children. What I can tell you now is that our investigation intensified, and it was clear that foul play was evident in the disappearance of Imani. This investigation led us to conduct several search warrants on homes, to include the home of our victim, a car, and cell phones. In addition, we spoke to several individuals, collected a number of evidence to include blood in our victim's home and in other places that I won't be specific on. All while the investigation continues, investigators continue to plan, organize, and search areas around specific locations to find Imani or individuals who could tell us where Imani is and what could they tell us about her disappearance. As we continued to search with the assistance of the cadaver canine, we came across an area where we believed to be evidence of a possible body. As we processed that area, an unknown body was discovered. Once the body was examined and matched the description provided to us on Imani, including tattoos, we matched from photos of Imani, including descriptions that was provided to us by her mother and others, with the body recovered. We were certain that we have located Imani. On 8/4/2023, several more search warrants were secured, as well as arrest warrants for Donell Anderson, which is her husband. I activated my SWAT team to go and pick up Donell Anderson. Donell Anderson was located at an apartment location in the city of Atlanta. Donell Anderson is charged with felony murder, malice murder, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, and there could be more charges. This investigation is still ongoing, and I can assure you that another arrest will be made. I want to encourage anyone else who may know anything about this case to contact my office. At this time, I want to thank our partners. I would like to provide a special thanks to APD, the GBI, special thanks to the South Fulton Police Department under the leadership of Chief Keith Meadows. Under his leadership, I want to specifically thank Lieutenant Weathers. As I stated earlier, this is an ongoing investigation. We are out in the field even as we speak on this investigation. I told you that there's going to be another arrest, and that is the reason why we're still out here on the field. And we're going to get that individual and any other individuals that could be attached to this case in custody if we find out that anyone else is involved. I have expressed my sympathy to the mother and father and their family, and I promised them that I was going to find Imani and find out who done something to Imani, and that today we have done. And so now at this time, I will turn it over to the parents. This is Ms. Clarine and Mr. Ackland.
You want to say anything? Today is a very difficult day for our family, especially the mother and the father. As a mother and father, you know that your kids are in a very special way. And when I couldn't reach Imani almost 3 weeks ago, I knew something was wrong. Late last night, my worst fears were confirmed, and our family is devastated. Being here today is extremely difficult for us, but I do want to thank the public who rallied around us and supported us for Imani's safe return. Thank you to the members of the national and local media who elevated the story. Lastly, Investigator Jones, Deputy Adams, and Sheriff Levette, and the whole entire team that worked diligently to bring Imani home. We thank you for your continued prayers and support as we work to care for Imani's beautiful boys without a mother. Thank you.
Yeah, this is not the news that we wanted to have, but I was prepared. I was preparing Imani's mom for it. When she sent me the Ring doorbell video and said, what do I think, I made my peace with it then. I want to give thanks to Investigator Jones that at least they couldn't tell us. I understand that, but she did say, that's what it sounded like to me, too. So I said my goodbyes
To my daughter yesterday. And I told her, I promised her when I laid there with Royal that we will work with whoever we have to, and all people that's involved will be held accountable. This is the third child I'd have lost to the state of Georgia. And if you think it's going to break me, it's not. I done seen all I can see. 3 of my babies gone. I want to thank Rockdale County. I didn't want to give y'all the chance, and I wanted him so bad. But I trusted y'all, and thank you. Thank you. It's not the news that we wanted, but I'm happy that we can hold them accountable. And I just ask all, if you know anything can help it go further, and anybody else that is involved, come forth. Because what has happened to us more than once can happen to any of you. And you would want us and everybody to be involved the same way you are. I was ready for it. And I will help take care of my daughters, her kids. Thank you, Georgia.
I would be remiss if I did not. I'm not joined by a lot of my investigators because, again, as I stated earlier, we have put a lot of, at the time that I first reported this, I told you all we've put over 400 hours of time into this, and now it's gone well over 400 hours. And so I'm not joined today by a lot of the investigators because they are out on the field still, conducting some investigation. I am joined by one of my investigators who's been by this family side from the beginning, which is Investigator Jones. So I want to make sure that I give a special thank you to the hardworking men of the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. And they work very hard. Thank you. They work very hard with the challenges that we as law enforcement face each and every day. But, their first responsibility is to get closure and to get justice for anyone that commits crimes like this. This is like a domestic. It is a domestic. It's a husband and wife. We've had about 4 to 5 murders this year, and every last one of them has been domestic family violence related. And if there's anyone that's out here that is involved in a toxic relationship, whether you are receiving mental abuse, verbal abuse, or physical abuse, it is not worth keeping quiet. And we need for you to step out and say something so we can end such tragedies like this, especially tragedies like this that involves children. These are 4 kids now without a mother, and unfortunately now without a father. And now the grandparents are stuck to raise these children. These children are going to need a lot of counseling. They're going to need a lot of support. This family is going to need a lot of counseling and a lot of support. And I think Ms. Clarine stated earlier, you've heard from the father, but Ms. Clarine stated earlier, this is her 4th child that she has learned that has passed away, and she's having to deal with. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, the 3 children that we have together, Imani made the 3rd child. She's gone, and then she lost 1 more child. So it's 4 total for her and 3 for me.
Yeah. So this family will need the support. Anybody that can provide any counseling for these children, reach out to them. And so, but again, we just want to, as a law enforcement agency, we want the communities, not just Rockdale County, but all communities, to understand that violence should not have a place in our hearts, in our hands, and within us at all. We've got to stop this violence all over, whether it's family violence, domestic, or whether it's just killing one another. And so, again, thank you all. And I'm going to be very limited into the questions that I can take because of the ongoing investigation. But if you have some that I possibly can answer, I'll take some short questions at this time.
Can you just provide a little clarity on the timeline of when you found the body to when the search warrants and then when the arrest happened?
Let me see. So on 7/17, Imani was last seen by her mother. No, I'm sorry. On 7/16, Imani was last seen by her mother. On 7/17, that's when a incident report was filed on her being missing. Between the 17th and the 19th, that's when we began to gather information from the disappearance of Imani. On 7/19, a search warrant was executed. At that time, we did not give specifics, and I did not give specifics at this time, as you recall. Again, between 7/17 and 7/19, evidence from the search warrant and our preliminary investigation led us to the city of Atlanta and South Fulton, where we conducted aerial searches. We've got a lot of assistance, of course, from flock cameras. We have gotten leads from cell phones, and again, people that we have spoken to. And so since the 17th, between that 17th and the 19th, our search in that general area continued. And between that time frame, that's when her car was also located, burned. All of that evidence kept us in that area for these last several days and weeks. And that's when the discovery of her body again was recovered yesterday. We've had two different cadaver canine organizations that assisted us, and one of these organizations was with us on yesterday, and that's when the dog alerted at a specific area and location.
And you also arrested him last night, or was that early this morning?
Oh, we arrested him last night. It was our mission that we were going to, when that body was found, it was our mission, especially mine, to make sure that we could convince our judges and or DA's office that we had enough evidence to secure a warrant and to get him off the street.
How far apart was the burnt car and the victim's body in terms of miles?
I would say probably within a couple of miles, give or take.
First of all, condolences to the family. We're so sorry for this. But Sheriff, are you able to share if she was killed before the car was torched, any circumstances around it?
We don't know that. As she was removed, of course, she's at the medical examiner that is conducting further investigation that will determine, of course, the cause of death, the time frame, and the whole 9 yards.
What's the most important thing the public can do to help get the other people that are involved in this?
If they know something, if they heard something, you should not wait on us to come to you because it could be a bad outcome for you. And it's easier for you to come to us and tell us what you know. But let's keep in mind that, you have to put yourself in the shoes of this family. Put yourself in the shoes of this mother and this father who not only just lost a daughter, they lost a daughter that has 4 children, as young as 1 month old. And if you have a heart and you know something, and knowing that this mother is gone and her 4 children left behind, and her mother's mother and father is now faced to bury another child, you would call and give us information. You don't have to tell us your name. You don't have to give us your phone number, but give us some credible information that will give this family even more closure. But I can assure you, we're going to continue to investigate to try to uncover any additional information that we may need.
Sheriff Levy, we just want to thank you for making it swift, and the citizens, thank y'all for talking. Just like you said, we're in a bed, we want to make sure we're safe. And a lot of people keep killing these women and nothing is being done, but I thank you today, behalf of the citizens of Rockdale County. They can do this stuff anywhere else. They can't do all this stuff in Rockdale County. And Rockdale citizens gonna say something, we're gonna do something, and we're gonna get this job done on the citizens' behalf. With Josie Dean, thank you.
Thank you.
For this.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. So again, we thank you all too for enhancing this story on the media outlets. We knew a lot of details at the very beginning that we just could not share. We did not want to jeopardize. Oftentimes, as y'all know, law enforcement don't want to share a lot of information because we don't want individuals to shut down and or run or hide. It makes it even more challenging and difficult for families to get that closure because now they're either hiding or running or people have shut down. And so we knew at the very early stages that we were leading in the right direction, and we just needed to stay focused on those leads and not be distracted by unfortunate questions from the public and or any media outlet. Because to us, our main concentration was getting answers for the family. So, but you all done a wonderful job in getting the story out for the family that's reached out to you all. You all, took that story and ran with it, and we appreciate it. So, again, thank you, and that concludes this press conference. Thank you.
Third child had a loss to the state of Georgia. And if you think it's going to break me, it's not. I done seen all I can see. 3 of my babies gone. I want to thank Rockdale County. I didn't want to give y'all the chance, and I wanted him so bad. But I trusted y'all, and thank you. Thank you. It's not the news that we wanted, but I'm happy that we can hold them accountable. And I just ask all, if you know anything can help it go further, and anybody else that is involved, come forth. Because what has happened to us more than once can happen to any of you. And you will want us and everybody to be involved the same way you are. I was ready for it. And I will help take care of my daughters, her kids. Thank you, Georgia.
There, they found something they hadn't expected: blood. Not a small amount. It was enough to cause concern. They tested it. The results matched Imani. Now, everything pointed to foul play. Detectives brought Jeremiah in for questioning again. This time, they weren't just asking where she was, they were building a case. They looked at his phone data. They checked his movements from the night Imani vanished. GPS from his phone showed him driving out towards South Fulton County, near the same area where the burned car was found. Another twist came when police recovered surveillance footage from stores and traffic cams. They captured a man, believed to be Jeremiah, buying gas cans. The date matched. The location matched. Everything was starting to line up. But the biggest twist? The kids. The 2 youngest children who had been with Imani when she left her mother's house. They were alive. And somehow they had ended up with their father. Investigators began to ask,
I keep wondering, why did I start to trust him?
was there an argument? Did something happen in the house? And why wasn't anyone else saying anything? By early August, police had enough. They arrested Jeremiah Roberson. He was charged with felony murder, malice murder, aggravated assault, and concealing the death of another. He was also charged with arson for the burned vehicle. The case shocked the community. Imani's family was devastated, but not surprised. They had suspected him from the start. Her mother even said she warned Imani before, that she felt something bad could happen if she stayed. The investigation didn't stop with the arrest. Police searched multiple homes, including Imani's house and Jeremiah's family's properties. They looked for more evidence, more answers. They wanted to know, did anyone help him? Was this planned? Or was it a crime of the moment? More details are still coming out. But one thing is clear. If not for Imani's family pushing for answers, and if not for that Ring doorbell camera, this story might have ended without any. Imani's story is now a reminder of how quickly life can change. A mother of 4, gone in an instant. A family left to raise her children without her. And a husband accused of taking the life of the woman he once promised to protect.
Authorities have charged Imani Roberson's husband, Donell Anderson, with the crime. They say the search continues for a second suspect. Fox 5's Joyce Duke.
Now they wait for justice. But even when the trial is over, even if there is a guilty verdict, they say it won't bring Imani back. Nothing will. What it can bring, they hope, is change. They want people watching this story to ask hard questions, to check on the people they love, to pay attention to the signs that are easy to miss. Because Imani Roberson should still be here. She should still be raising her kids. She should still be building her future. And while this case may one day close, the impact of what happened will never go away. The last moment she was seen on camera was her walking away from her mother's house, holding her child. A normal evening. A regular goodbye. No one knew it was her final one. Let her story be a reminder. Not just of what happened, but of what we still need to fix. Now that you've heard Imani's story, we want to hear from you. Was it the Ring doorbell footage that showed Imani leaving her mother's home? Was it the burned car found miles away? Or was it the digital trail? The GPS, the phone records, the store cameras that tied everything together? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe this case could have ended differently? What stood out the most to you? We read every comment, and your voice matters. If Imani's story moved you, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a true crime story we uncover.